Happy Thursday. Come on in, pull up a chair. The Daily Dope is in the air. Howdy, 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 gang. Yes, I'm Jeff McAleer, back once again as your host here at The Daily Dope, presented by thegaminggang.com, of which I happen to be the Grand Poobah. Tonight, it's Thursday, so I love taking a look at RPGs and talking role-playing games on Thursdays. So tonight, we will be taking a first look and paging through Adventures in Middle-earth, yes, the Lonely Mountain Region Guide for 5e from my friends over at Cubicle 7 Entertainment. So that is what I've got on the agenda. Also got plenty of tabletop gaming news to discuss as well. Plus, I will share the info about the two contests that are currently going on through thegaminggang.com. So tonight is Thursday, August 22nd. This is episode 349 of The Daily Dope. This is a live stream, so if this is the first time you've tuned in, I do want to point out this is a very, very casual show. It's not rocket surgery, as I like to say. I talk about tabletop games, sometimes a little pop culture, but mainly I'll do some board game unboxing and reviews, do some RPG page throughs and reviews as well. So, welcome aboard if you're joining me either live or on Memorex. Anyway, as I mentioned, this is episode 349 of the Daily Dope. It is a live stream. Chat is available on YouTube if you are watching live. Do want to point out that chat is not on screen. It's one of the ways that I keep some of these stranger commenters at bay, but I do pay attention to chat. So if you'd like to just say howdy, or maybe you've got a question, or there's something about the Lonely Mountain Region Guide you want a closer look at, by all means, please chime in chat and I will respond. So got a good amount of news tonight. Got a nice variety of tabletop gaming news as well. So why not jump right on in? Do want to point out, if you're not a fan of the tabletop gaming news, I know there are some folks out there who do watch the shows and just not real keen on the tabletop gaming news. That's fine. Just take a look in the show notes below once the video has rendered on YouTube, and there are timestamps. You can jump right ahead. Anyway, with that out of the way, let's jump on into the news, because Czech Games Edition is going to be releasing a new expansion for the ever-popular Through the Ages. And I've got the dope on New Leaders and Wonders. Can't say that's the most original title for the expansion, but what can you say? This is your chance to make history. Throughout time, there have been courageous women and imaginative men who changed history and whose legacy we carry with us to this day. Some of those men and women, along with some of their most wondrous creations, are now joining the new and long-awaited Through the Ages expansion. The new Leaders and Wonders expansion brings exciting new content to the base game, adding leaders, wonders, thus the title there, and military cards, so that's something that's not in the title. So you can change the flow of history and build even greater civilizations. Well. Through the Ages, a new story of civilization. Through the Ages is a complex civilization building game ranked as the third best board game ever, according to the Board Game Geek website. Of course, that changes all the time. You begin with a small tribe. As you expand your farms and mines, you lay the groundwork for technological advancements, better governments, and grand wonders. Your military might supports your political skill as you guide your civilization to greatness. Through the Ages, New Leaders and Wonders is for 2 to 4 players, ages 14 and up. Plays are around 2 hours, and it will carry an MSRP of $24.95 when it arrives on my birthday, October 24th. Do also want to mention that if you play the digital edition of Through the Ages, you can actually get a voucher for the game itself, for the expansion for the physical game, as well as the expansion for the digital edition, because the digital edition is actually going to release on September 12th. So, way ahead of the actual physical expansion releasing. So, I happen to play Through the Ages digitally, so I play it on PC. So, and hey, Viper Dave just says he's got it on his iPad, so he loves it as well. So, Flaming Huron's in chat, so's Viper Dave. Good to see you both joining me. Flaming Huron, I was joking around, teasing you last night, and I was like, does he know I was just kidding? I mean, it was like, I was kind of goofing off a little bit. I was like, well. But I did see your tweet to me as well as your comment on last night's video. So, yeah, it's like, I'm sure he knows I'm just joking. So, anyway, on to the next news piece. I happen to be a big fan of Tiny Epic Galaxies. In fact, I've got my Tiny Epic games all stacked up right here. So, I'm pretty excited to see that Gamelyn Games is going to be releasing Ultra Tiny Epic Galaxies. And I've got the dope. Tiny Epic is a series of small box, approachable board games that deliver far more than the box size would suggest. And I'll say, that's very true. That's no BS in this sell sheet info here. Each one features an easy entry rule set along with a high level of strategy and a small footprint. Each Tiny Epic game is completely different in theme and mechanics. Ultra Tiny Epic Galaxies is everything Tiny Epic Galaxies is, but much smaller. And it even includes the Satellites and Super Weapons mini expansion, which actually I don't have. In Tiny Epic Galaxies, and therefore Ultra Tiny Epic Galaxies, each player controls their very own galaxy. In the game, they'll be developing their own empire by managing resources, expanding their fleet, colonizing planets, and exploiting their enemies' positions. Yeah. The game runs on a clever dice combining mechanic. Players roll for their actions and choose the order in which to take them. This can lead to big payoff turns, especially when comboed with planet abilities. Throughout the game, players spend resources to upgrade their empires, re-roll unwanted dice, and even follow the actions of other players' dice. The follow mechanic keeps all players engaged throughout the game for virtually zero downtime. I will mention that, unfortunately, when we're playing, my fellow players just always forget about the follow mechanic. They don't take advantage of it as much as they should. That's why they don't usually win. Anyway, players will accumulate power, victory points, based on the level of their empire, as well as for successfully colonizing planets. When a player has reached a power of 21 or higher, the end of the game is triggered. Ultra Tiny Epic Galaxies is for 1 to 5 players, ages 8 and up, plays in about 30 to 60 minutes, and will carry an MSRP of $15 when it arrives November 1st. Wow, that is an awesome deal. Although I have to say, I have seen supposedly the game is 20% the size of Tiny Epic Galaxies, and I've got it right here. I can just slip this right on out. If you are not familiar with the Tiny Epic game line, which, if you're not, I'm not sure why you're watching this show. This is the size of the box. So, is this just going to be like a card box? Wow, I mean, that would be really, really small, but this looks pretty small. Anyway, so yeah, very cool. I am looking forward to this. I had to reach out to Michael over at Gamelyn Games. I've got my review of Heroes of Land, Air, and Sea, or is it Air, Land, and Sea? Is it Land, Air, and Sea? Air, Land, and Sea? The Heroes review is going to be coming soon. Probably right after next week's shows. We've only played it once, so I need to get a couple more plays in before I can do my review. But I want to touch base with them because Tiny Epic Mechs is coming out. We've got Tiny Epic Tactics, I think is supposed to be a Q4 release. So a lot of cool stuff. So Viper Dave says, "Oh, picture on new camera the other night was great." I have been working on that. In fact, you might be able to tell that I've been working on the lighting as well a little bit. The lighting was just a little too dark, a little too off the other night. In fact, it still seems like it's a little bit dark, but if I adjust the brightness too much, then everything kind of looks washed out. I don't necessarily want everything looked washed out because, for one, I'm not as pale as I sometimes look on the videos. In real life, I actually have like color to my cheeks and stuff. Bones has arrived. Bones is talking about solo mode. Bones has to be talking about Tiny Epic Galaxy's solo mode, which is actually really good. It is. It's a very good solo system. Most of the Tiny Epic games have some sorts of ways to play them solo. Can't say enough good stuff about Tiny Epic Galaxies, and Gamelyn Games, and Michael Coe is very cool too. Anyway, good to see you, Bones. Good to see you popping into chat tonight. Moving right along. Osprey Games has released a new skirmish level Cyberpunk miniatures rules system. Came out today. Today was the release. And I've got the dope on Reality's Edge. Hyper reality, the area between the thriving mass of humanity known as the Sprawl and the digital refuge of cyberspace. This is your playground. As a showrunner? What? You're running television series? Okay. You can see and manipulate the flow of digital data through the real world. For you, reality is limitless. Welcome to Reality's Edge, a skirmish wargame set in a dystopian cyberpunk future, where players take on the roles of showrunners, mercenary hackers who lead small teams of trusted operatives and disposable freelancers. Funded by shadow backers, the showrunners accept jobs from faceless clients for profit, glory, and better chrome. Always better chrome. Battles take place in the concrete jungle known as the Sprawl, but showrunners must remain wary of the threat posed by cyberspace. Hacking is pivotal to the game, with data nodes, robots, machines, and even enemy chrome presenting potential targets for a cunning console cowboy. In an ongoing campaign, each skirmish offers you the opportunity to earn experience and equipment, from advanced weaponry and synthetics to cyber implants, biological enhancements, clones, and much more. This is a world obsessed with whether something can be done, not whether it should. You can score the hardcover release right now for $45, or in digital format for $31.50. I know pretty much nothing about this miniature system. I do believe, I'm not positive, but I think that the core mechanics are based on This Is Not a Test. I'm not sure if anybody out there is familiar with that miniature system. It is a post-apocalyptic miniature system that I've always heard good things about. So it is based on that. I gotta be honest, cyberpunk skirmish games? I don't know. I honestly don't know. Because usually cyberpunk games have a lot of, hacking and being like Neuromancer was, William Gibson, getting into the Matrix. So I don't know. I'm kind of curious. I love the art. The artwork looks very, very cool. I must say that. All right, since it's Thursdays, and I love talking RPGs on Thursdays, do want to mention Bundle Holding is offering yet another sweet deal. And here's the dope on the Mithras Bundle. Adventurer! We've resurrected our April 2018 offer featuring PDFs of Mithras, the acclaimed design mechanism version of one of the greatest fantasy tabletop role-playing games ever published, RuneQuest. Formerly titled RuneQuest 6, This authoritative edition of the classic skill-based percentile system enjoys a wide range of supplements and adventures featuring swords and sorcery, history and myth, science fiction, and urban horror. This bargain-priced revival, retitled Mithras Core, once again gives you everything you need for a complete campaign of classic dungeon-crawling fantasy or mythic history. And the all-new companion offer, Mithras Worlds, will add even more. For just $14.95, you get all 5 titles in this revived Core Offers Starter Collection, carrying a retail value of $47, as PDF ebooks, including the 304-page Mithras Core Rulebook, 3 adventures, Madness in Other Colors, Zemaxis Cleansing, and a gift from Samash. The last one is actually science fiction. And the 336-page Classic Fantasy Supplement, Old School Dungeon Crawls in Mithras. And if you pay more than this offer's threshold price of $25.26, you'll level up and also get the Revival's entire bonus collection with 8 more supplements and adventures worth an additional $57, including Mythic Britain and the Mythic Britain Companion, Mythic Rome plus the Mythic Rome maps, and 3 classic fantasy adventures. These Violent Delights, The Terror of Ettenmarsh, and The Tomb of the Mad Wizard. The Mithras bundle will run through September 9th. This is pretty cool. This, I have to say, you're getting a lot for your money here. And I have heard really good things about Mythic Britain and Mythic Rome. So just those 2 PDFs, if you went to, say, DriveThruRPG and got them at DriveThruRPG, you would end up paying more for those 2 PDFs alone than you can for the entire collection that's going on at Bundle of Holding. So very sweet, very cool. I am not overly familiar with Mithras. I am going to take a look at the new RuneQuest soon. That is probably something that's also coming week after next, because I have it. I have the hardcover. I just haven't had an opportunity. It came in, I try to get things out in the order that I get them. That's how I try to do things. Unless something is, like Pathfinder 2nd Edition, where it's like, yes, I need to get that review out there on the day it goes public. Otherwise, nobody's going to check it out. But I will have the RuneQuest core book, and I should take a look at Mithras, because I think they tweaked some stuff. It's not just RuneQuest. It's not just a new edition of RuneQuest. So, Dan from No Enemies here has arrived. Good to see you, Dan. I did send Dan a video. Oh no, you know what? I forgot to email him the link. Jeez. I uploaded it to my Google Drive. I've been running around all day. I put everything together like last minute today. So, Dan, once the show's over, I'll send you the link for the video. So you can include it on your show on Saturday, if you would like. I mean, I never twist your arm. All right, I've got one last news piece. There's a new source book available for the science fiction RPG Esper Genesis. It's available in PDF, and I've got the dope on the Threats database, a grand collection of monsters and villains for your sci-fi universe. The Threats database introduces a trove of sci-fi creatures, antagonists, and hazards to use with the Esper Genesis role-playing game. Keeping with EG's full compatibility feature, this product can be used as a supplement to any 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons setting, giving you the power to drop your futuristic baddies into a world of your choosing. There's aliens and beasts and robots. Oh my. The bestiary contains an assortment of creatures, each with their own storied lore and specifically varied to cover classic science fiction genres, including post-apocalyptic, space opera, sci-fi horror, cyberpunk, and tech noir. GM tools are also included to create a horde of custom sci-fi beasts using base stat templates and a wealth of miscellaneous options. It's more than just a monster book. In addition to over 200 stat blocks, The threats database offers rules for starship hazards and environmental encounters. Lastly, a lore section is dedicated to the galaxy's most dangerous threats, complete with plot threads and potentially devastating consequences they can bring about in your sci-fi game. This product contains a breakdown of threat categories and types, universal rules for using stat blocks for any 5e game, a collection of sci-fi threats from AI robots to cosmic invaders to trans-dimensional horrors, modern and futuristic NPC antagonists and allies, rules for creating alien beasts that can be found on any world, environmental starship hazards such as cosmic storms, that's how you become the Fantastic Four, spatial anomalies and wormholes, major galactic threats, their machinations, and potentially lasting effects in your game setting. The galaxy needs heroes. If you want more Esper Genesis, be sure to get the Esper Genesis Core Manual to create heroic sci-fi characters, run epic starship battles, and explore a vast universe fully compatible with the 5th edition of the world's greatest RPG. The 224-page PDF can be had at DriveThruRPG for $24.95. I have heard really good things about Esper Genesis, especially if you're a fan of 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons and you're a little bummed that you don't have really a science fiction game to jump into, like, say, Pathfinder's got Starfinder. I heard Esper Genesis is good stuff. Very, very good stuff. I like to see people tweak the mechanics for 5th edition to carry them over to other games. I liked when I'd see people doing that, companies doing that for Pathfinder as well. Very cool. I love seeing that, because that way, if you've got friends, you've got a group that maybe unfortunately all you play is one certain role-playing game, and personally I think you should kind of branch out and play different stuff. But if you only play like one system, that way at least it gives you an opportunity to try out different genres using those same mechanics that you're very familiar with. So very cool. Like I said, heard really good things about Esper Genesis from Alligator Alley Entertainment. Lastly, do want to mention, talking about DriveThruRPG, today is the last day for that Cthulhu Mythos sale at DriveThruRPG, so it is your last opportunity to save on a little over 1,400 PDFs that are Lovecraftian in nature. So, and as I always like to point out, the Daily Dope and of course, thegaminggang.com are affiliated with the One Bookshelf sites. So if you are going to go over to, say, DriveThruRPG, please stop by thegaminggang.com first, click on one of those banners, and that way if you do make a purchase, I get a small portion of that sale. Very small portion, but a portion nonetheless. And it all adds up. It all helps keep the website around. Cool deal. All right, so I am going to get into Adventures in Middle-earth, the Lonely Mountain Region Guide, in just a few moments. I do want to talk about the two contests that I've currently got going on right now. First off, I do have the contest for YouTube subscribers. It is open to anybody, so it's regardless where you live in the world, where you watch from. But I think as of right now, I believe we're 8 subscribers away from unlocking the first prize pack. So pretty cool. Although I gotta be honest, it's really strange because YouTube has like a classic mode for me to check out my videos and things like that. Now then they've got like this new studio beta that they're kind of forcing on everybody. It shows me 2 completely different subscriber counts. So it's usually like a difference of 7. It's like, I don't know why. It just does. But I will take the higher number. So as of right now, I think we're 8 subscribers away from unlocking the prize pack, which is pretty sweet. Especially if you like role-playing games, because I will be offering the 2nd edition Pathfinder core rulebook, the Bestiary, as well as the Fall of Plagues Stone which is a standalone adventure. It's not like a part of an adventure path, all in PDF for every 65 subscribers beyond 1,600 that I have on the channel. So it's, I think I looked and it's something like, I think it's 1657, 57, 58, somewhere around there right now. So only a few away. All you had to do is be a subscriber. That's it. No other little, thing that you got to do, like comment on a video. Not doing anything like that for this contest. So keep that in mind. So Fleming Heron says, I'm just happy it notifies me about the videos. Yeah, fingers crossed. You never know. I don't know. So I've been told by people that sometimes I get the news about the video going live about 5 minutes after the stream starts, and other people it right away. And then I have people tell me that they don't get any notifications. So, and they have the little bell rung. So I don't know. Anyway, the other contest I got going on is for followers on Twitter. Now this is starting to look a little tougher to pull off. Now the Pathfinder contest runs until September 5th, and I will announce the winner on September 6th. The other contest I've got going on, I have to hit 5,100 followers on Twitter, and you have to live in the US or Canada to win. But I will be giving out a copy of the wooden Evertree for Everdell, which I kind of showed off last week. Plus, I will also include the Pearlbrook expansion for Everdell, and this also happens to be the collector's edition here. Oh yeah. So both those items will go to one lucky winner, but I don't know, I'm about 170 followers off. I don't know, because this contest is only going to run until August 8th. And then on that Monday show, the 9th, I will announce the winner. August, did I say August? September. September 8th. Got August on the brain here. So two cool contests, and I'm working on some things behind the scenes to bring us some contests for September as well. So what's coming up on the Daily Dope, both tomorrow and into next week? I have changed some things a little bit for what I've been talking about earlier this week. So on tomorrow's show, I am still going to review Roll for Adventure from Cosmos Games. This is one of their Gen Con releases. I am going to do my review on Roll for Adventure tomorrow. Then on Monday, I'll be reviewing Run, Fight, or Die Reloaded from Gray Fox Games. So that is on the agenda. Then I switched some stuff up a little bit, because the way I had it going was almost all next week was all reviews. And I try not to do that. I try not to have the entire week full of reviews, because those are really long shows. It becomes a pretty tough week. So on Tuesday's show, I will unbox and take a first look at Anomaly from Starling Games, and this is the one versus many. Although 3 players isn't really many in my opinion, but one player plays the Anomaly, the other player is the other players, up to 3, are students who are attempting to defeat the Anomaly, whatever it happens to be. Then on Wednesday's show, it's Wargame Wednesday. I will be reviewing Richard III from Columbia Games. Yes, this is a classic. It's also one of their Fog of War block games, so the review will be coming up for that. Then I was going to do a review of Delta Green. There's no way I'm going to get through both those books by next Thursday. So we are going to take a look at City of Mist. So I have heard really, really good things about City of Mist. So we're going to take a look at the player's guide as well as the MC, the Master of Ceremonies toolkit. So we will be taking a look at both of these books on next Thursday's show. Probably be very light with the tabletop gaming news next Thursday, if I even do any, because this will probably be a fairly long show, especially since I am not overly familiar with City of Mist. I know a little bit about it, but not a ton. Then next Friday, I will be reviewing Imhotep the Duel, the 2-player edition of Imhotep, also from Cosmos Games, also one of their Gen Con releases. So that is what's cooking on next week's shows. All right, one last thing that I will mention is if you follow the Daily Dope, if you watch the shows, if you visit thegaminggang.com, then you already know pretty much a not-for-profit endeavor here. So if you like the website, if you like the show, if you like the channel, please consider making a small donation to Lil Bub's Big Fund and the American Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals. That's right, Lil Bub's Big Fund does provide grant monies to organizations throughout the United States who care for special needs animals who are awaiting adoption. These animals could be long in the tooth, like yours truly. They might be blind, they might be deaf, they might have mobility issues, they might require medication on a daily basis. Regardless, these pets still deserve to find loving homes, and that is what Lil Bub's Big Fund is all about. So, if you do make a small donation, and if you would like, I know most people just, when they do things with charity, they're not looking for a pat on the back. But if you would like, and you do make a small donation to Lil Bub's Big Fund, shoot me an email. And I'd be more than happy to give you a shout out on the following show. Okay, so I'm sure people are tuning in because they want to check out the Lonely Mountain Region Guide, which is 4 adventures in Middle-earth from my friends over at Cubicle 7 Entertainment. It's written by Gabriel Garcia, Andrew Kendrick, Mark Latham, T.S. Lucart, my good buddy T.S., Francesco Nepatello, Jacob Rogers, James Spahn, and Ken Spencer, with artwork provided by Phil Bourne, John Hodgson, Ralph Horsley, Sam Manley, and Jan Pospisil. I'm taking a guess at that one. I think I've got everybody's names pronounced correctly, except for that last one. The 144-page hardcover is available now. You can grab it for $31.99. If you get it from Cubicle 7 Entertainment or from a brick-and-mortar store, you also get the PDF. You can also get the PDF through DriveThru RPG if you just want to pick that up for $19.99. So let's move on over to the other camera. Zing. So hopefully, video is clear. Hopefully the video has been clear this week. So before I jump into here, let me jump back. I missed that question from Flaming Huron. My apologies. Which RuneQuest? We are going to take a look at the brand new RuneQuest, the newest RuneQuest that came out from Chaosium. And of course, Mithras is based on the 6th edition of RuneQuest. There's been a lot of editions of RuneQuest over the years. A lot of changes. I remember when Avalon Hill picked it up. And in fact, I think, of course, now I'm going off on a little tangent again. I seem to recall we had a toy store, and this toy store would get like Avalon Hill stuff, and they would have it like way marked down. And it was like a KB Toys. And they would have like Avalon Hill stuff, and it was like $5. And I remember picking up some RuneQuest. It wasn't the core box. It was, I think it was like Adventures or something like that, way back in the day. But yeah, I remember we used to snag some Avalon Hill stuff for about $5 a pop at from KB Toys. That was way back in the day. All right, so let's take a quick peek here. So, I do want to point out, if you have Erebor the Lonely Mountain guide for the One Ring, then this is the same material, except it's just ported over to 5th edition. I do not have that, amazingly enough. I tend to have more stuff for the for Adventures in Middle-earth, as opposed to the One Ring. With Smaug the Dragon defeated and the dwarves of Erebor returning to their ancient mansion, the land east of Mirkwood resounds once more with the din of hammer on anvil. King Bard has completed the rebuilding of Dale, the city of bells. The furnaces of the Lonely Mountain are relit, and the toy market is reopened. Travelers, merchants, and adventurers turn north once again to seek their fortunes as hope returns to Wilderland. Packed with new information on some of the best-known locales and characters described in The Hobbit, this invaluable guide for players and lore masters alike describes the dwarf hold of Erebor, the city of Dale, surrounding regions, and the many different activities to undertake there. Also, there's a new Erebor book that's available. It's in PDF right now. The hardcover has not arrived yet, and it is for Adventures in Middle-earth, and that is on the near horizon. So this is a recommended source book if you are going to pick that up, because that's an adventure book. That's all adventure. Those are all, I want to say it's 6 scenarios all linked together. In effect, it's The Laughter of Dragons, which I did review, which I enjoyed. I thought that was a pretty good campaign if you tied them all together. That's what the Erebor book's going to be. So let's jump on in. Fleming Huron asks, RuneQuest role-playing in Glorantha? Yes, it is it. That is the one we're going to be taking a look at. So, yeah, I had original RuneQuest. I picked up the original box set RuneQuest. In fact, I want to say RuneQuest was the second role-playing game I ever bought. And I thought it was cool. I liked the D100. I liked the percentile skills and things like that. You know what I couldn't get past? I couldn't get past the ducks. And I don't know. I mean, I was 12, maybe 13 when I got it. And I was like, these, what? And I'm thinking Howard the Duck in a fantasy situation. Wow. Cat just knocked over a bunch of stuff over here. That's okay. I'll get that after the show. Pick it all up. All right. Anyway, let's jump on in. So we've got an introduction, how to use the guide. We've got the kingdom under the mountain, the history of Erebor. So once again, this is a supplement. This is a setting book. So this is not an adventure supplement, although there might be an adventure in this. Okay, so we've got the mountain, Lonely Mountain. Then we've got a map of that, entering the Lonely Mountain. The Iron Guard. I like the cover. I think the cover is pretty cool. Whereas, it shows the adventurers, your group of adventurers coming in. I thought that was pretty sweet. There's usually some pretty cool artwork in the One Ring as well as Adventures in Middle-earth. Although it does look like the new edition that's coming out is going to kind of change the art style, which I am looking forward to. Because now the pencil sketches and things like that's fine. That's cool. I like that. Some of the color artwork is just a little, I don't want to say bland, but I want to say not as inspirational as I'd like to see in my role-playing game artwork. So, if you are a fan of The Hobbit, now we are going to get the different stat blocks for the various dwarves of the party. We get the treasure of the dwarves. Different weapons. Oh, new enchanted qualities. Okay, so new enchantments. Dwarven smithing. Then we get into the town of Dale. Bit of history there, or I should say city of Dale. The death of Smog and the rise of King Bard. So we get a map of the city as well. The lightly fingered. Just doesn't sound right. As always happens when coins flow in abundance, pickpockets and cut purses ply the stalls and the less guarded shops of the market square on busy days. So, it's about stealing. So, I don't, just the way it's like the lightly fingered. Okay, I'm not gonna go there. So we get some information about some of the characters in Dale. Or, well, I guess these are more NPC styles like courtier, a noble, royal archer, city guard. There we go. Now we get some notable characters. So we've got King Bard. So that's cool. Things do well in Dale. Right, and then we get the lands about the mountain. Some more NPCs as well. A lot of notable characters that we're seeing pop up here. That's kind of cool. I like that. Rugash the Serpent, medium humanoid orc kind. We go into the Gray Mountains. Got some information about the Upper Marshes. I noticed so far we really haven't seen any stat blocks for like creatures or anything. Everything's been characters so far, NPCs. Let's see. So wait a second. Is this an adventure we just kind of started moving into? Or is it just showing us some notable characters? Nope, just notable places. Because I saw this map here and I thought, oh, wait a second. All right, Dan's heading out. Good to see you, Dan. I will shoot you the link to that video as soon as I finish up with the show. I zoned out. Sorry, I have it done. I have it uploaded, ready to go. So, have a good one. Hopefully, see you tomorrow. Anyways, sorry about that. I thought maybe we were in an adventure because I'm seeing where it's like main cellar, the cells, wine cellar. I'm like, oh, wait a second. Hang on a minute there, Babalooey. But it's not. It's just a notable place. So once again, more notable characters. These are what was it? The lower marshes, I think they said. Oh, the long marshes. Okay. Concerning dragons. This, if I remember correctly, this section here is written by my friend T.S. Lukart. So I'm almost positive, and it's supposed to be a really, really good breakdown of creating very cool dragons. Because, of course, in any sort of Tolkien adventure, dragons are extremely rare. In my opinion, the way I like to run my fantasy role-playing games, dragons are very, very rare. D&D, it's getting to the point where, they're just first-level characters encounter dragons. And, of course, they're not going to fight them. But it's sort of like, yes, I understand. The game is called Dungeons & Dragons. But I think the mystery and the majesty of dragons is what TS is writing about in this section for when you create your own dragons. So you notice it's got a lot of different attributes that you can use, different features of the dragons, like Craven, Frightful Presence, Smiting Malice. If I remember correctly, too, I don't believe in the One Ring or Adventures in Middle-earth, I don't believe there are good dragons. I think all dragons are, in some respect, evil. So we got dragons of the Third Age. I mean, I might be completely wrong, but I thought for the most part they tend to be evil, or at least neutral. So we got some examples of different dragons. Huge dragon, a full-grown long worm, a young long worm. So that's cool. We get some stat blocks for some various different dragons here, so that's cool. Then we get the War of the Dwarves and the Orcs. So we get a bunch of information on this. Get some wondrous artifacts. Another section of exploring the restored kingdoms. One thing, and it's talking about journeys. One thing that Adventures in Middle-earth brings to 5e that some people really, really love and other people are kind of taken kind of aback by it is the journey. Because that is a big aspect of the One Ring. In fact, it's one of the things that I believe is being tweaked a little bit in the new second edition. But if you play a lot of just D&D, there's not such a focus on that. The focus is usually on, okay, so you're traveling, well, maybe you have a few random encounters, or maybe it's a little bit of a hex crawl, but it's not really usually the focus of the adventure, or focus of a session, or take up a lot of time in a session. A lot of dungeon masters are just kind of like, okay, well, the trip takes a week. That's it. Now you're wherever you needed to be. That is not the case with the One Ring and, of course, Adventures in Middle-earth. So more information about the dwarves. I gotta be honest, though, I thought there's like a lot of information about dwarves already in some of the other supplements that have come out. So I'm not sure if some of this is redundant, or if it just happens to be just new material. So these are the dwarves of the Grey Mountains. An example character sheet for Mona, who is the daughter of Jinar, bearing gray cloak, and then we got an index and some information about some of the other releases for Adventures in Middle-earth. So there you have it. And of course we get a cool map on both the back cover as well as back of the front cover. Sweet. So that is the Lonely Mountain Region Guide for Adventures in Middle-earth from my pals over at Cubicle 7 Entertainment. As I mentioned, it is out right now. It is out right now. So you can pick it up in hardcover for $31.99 from Cubicle 7 Entertainment, or you can go to a brick and mortar store. If you do that, you also will get the PDF absolutely free. That's a big thing Cubicle 7 is really big about, is not double dipping you on, if you bought the physical book, you are going to get the PDF for free. So hey, KC Board Gamers is popping in just as we're getting ready to wrap up. Good to see you, KC. So anyway, you can get the hardcover for $31.99, or you can get the PDF from Drive-Thru RPG for $19.99. So, pretty cool. So let's see. All right, so I'm just checking the chat to see if there are any like last minute questions or anything that had popped up. But now it's just basically Dan telling me not to forget to send him the video. I won't. I promise. Anyway. All right, so that is it for tonight's show. As I mentioned, on tomorrow's show, I will be reviewing Roll for Adventure from Cosmos Games. I know. It's funny. For some reason, adventure is always like, adventure, or like, even doing the bundle of holding, adventurer. So, that'll be on tomorrow's show. Anyway, as I always like to point out, if you like the video, please give it a quick thumbs up. If you check out some of the videos on the Gaming Gang channel here, and you dig them, by all means, please subscribe. And of course, tell a friend. In fact, tell 2 friends. And don't forget, ring that little bell if you do subscribe, because it'll remind you not only when a new video is uploaded, it'll also tell you when the stream goes live. So as I also like to point out, when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, please stop by thegaminggang.com for all the latest in gaming news, reviews, comics, movies, TV. By now you probably know the drill. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. I will be back tomorrow. It'll be Friday. We'll get ready for the weekend. We'll do a cool review. And, of course, until then, happy trails. Thanks again for watching The Daily Dope, presented by The Gaming Gang. If you like this episode, be sure to give it a quick thumbs up. And if you dig the channel, please subscribe. If you'd like to check out our previous episode, click right here. And if you want to check out a somewhat randomly selected episode, give a click right down here. It'll be like opening a box of Cracker Jacks. You just don't know what you'll get. Once again, thanks for watching, and I'm Jeff McAleer.